Today I'm making baked mac and cheese. This is going to have a gooey cheesy center and a crispy cheese crust on top. To start, I already have my water boiling. This is somewhere between 2.5 to 3 quarts of water that I've boiled. You could add a tablespoon of salt to this. I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of chicken bouillon powder. So once it comes back up to boil, I'm going to give that a mix and add 8 ounces of elbow macaroni. Now if you want a larger portion of baked mac and cheese to fit in a 9 by 13 baking dish, you're going to have to double this recipe. Today I'm just making this for 2 to 3 people, so 8 ounces of elbow macaroni going in. I'm going to give it a mix and let that boil and cook for somewhere between 8 to 10 minutes. I'm also going to reserve 1/4 cup of this pasta water. I'm going to temper my egg with this. For the cheese sauce, here over a low heat, I have my small pot preheating. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of salted butter. If I had unsalted butter, I would add a pinch of salt to this. Now I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika and a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. Now the paprika that I'm using is smoked paprika, but regular works. I just like the smoky flavor of that. So give that a mix. Now I'm going to add a softened 4 ounces of cream cheese. You could also use sour cream, and if you don't like the tanginess of those two, then you can maybe add mascarpone cheese. It's up to you. So I'm going to give that a mix, combine, and let that melt down and get creamy and smooth like this. Now I'm going to add 8 ounces of Velveeta cheese. This is American processed cheese, and 8 fluid ounces of heavy cream. I'm just going to combine, mix until it's melty and creamy like this. By the way, I did drain my elbow macaroni and it's set aside. Okay, so I'm going to add a handful of shredded mild cheddar cheese, and the rest I'm going to reserve for the cheese crust on top, and that's 8 ounces that I shredded. So I'm going to give that a mix, and I'm really not going to melt down the cheese at this point. It'll get melty and gooey when it bakes, but this is done. Okay, so to set and bind my elbow macaroni, I'm going to use 1 large egg, and I'm going to break this into the warm 1/4 cup of that pasta water. It did kind of get warm, and I'm just going to mix and combine. This is going to temper the egg, so when I add it to the hot elbow macaroni, it doesn't curdle and start to cook. So going right into my pot of elbow macaroni, and I'm just going to mix well. You could also add a pinch of salt or seasoned salt to your elbow macaroni at this point, but it's fine. So now I'm going to pour in that cheese sauce and just combine and mix. I'm going to be baking this in a medium-sized baking dish, at least 1.75 to 2 quart baking dish, and I've already buttered it with a tablespoon of softened butter. So all of my macaroni mixture's going in. I'm going to smooth it out, and now I'm just going to add all of that shredded cheese on top. I will be baking this in a preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, uncovered, for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until everything is bubbly and golden brown on top, just like this. So once it looks like this, it's ready to set on your counter. So I'm going to let this set for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and after that, you can cut into it and serve. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.